but I belong to the top 10 of my class, something like that, during my graduation. Because if you want to be a graduate honors, then you have to compete with all the, students, different courses, engineering courses, College of Arts and Sciences, something like that, the banking and finance, accountancy, the BS biology, BS physics, BS chemistry, and all these things. Okay? Then you have also to apply. Okay? Before you have the reward or award of being a cum laude, graduate with honors, and summa cum laude. If you will never apply to the, to a certain, what do you call it, student affairs office, then you will never declare. Okay? It's not the same in high school. In high school and elementary, you will be recognized completed automatically. But in college, you have to do your effort to apply. Okay, to become an honor student, graduate with honors, laude, 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 something like that. Okay. Okay, but oh my gosh, what's happening for this? Oh my gosh. Okay, but to inspire to all of you guys, ang saya-saya ng world if you are really a Dean's Lister. Okay? In college. But it's also very tired, right? You have to maintain grades. Okay? But if you love to do that, then there's nothing impossible. Okay? Something like that, mga palangga kong hitad. Okay. Simultaneous live streaming and vlogging. Hello mga palangga ko. Shout out to my classmates, batchmates of Sepok Elementary School. Start talaga sa Sepok Elementary School. Okay? And Naga National High School. And in my college level of education, the Cebu Institute of Technology University. Okay? We shout out mga kauban ako ng mga managers or, assistant of CEO, something like that. Okay, congratulations. Okay, so some of my classmates also are already teaching chemistry in London, in the United States of America, something like that. Okay. But I know only two. There's also another one here. She's teaching in Japan. Okay. Meron siyang mga mentors. Okay, but most are really spread in different industries. Okay, most of our graduates, something like that. Okay, lang sa mga mentors and instructors. Okay, subricate guys. Maot sa kuha kay akong problems namin ko sa kakuan, ka-phone. Nakakaloka. Kapit kay bot og problem. I cannot make my own problems, guys. Sakit akong ulo. Okay? Actually, pwede na good. Mag-create kang imong problem kasi mo solve. Something like that. Okay? Nakakaloka. But, I need to be, pwede ko masayok. Okay? So, na-technique siya, guys, ani na formula sad. I need to introduce to you. Okay, something like this, okay? So, ang saan naman to guys, nag-screenshot ko kaganina, something like that. It's a combination of the kinematics motion related to the gravitational force and a little bit of Isaac Newton's second law. Ganoon siya. Really so enjoyable, guys. Okay? So, mga correlation of different equations and blah, 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 so and so. Okay? Ganon. Okay, wait. Okay, nakakaloka. Okay, guys. Shout out pala sa mga sa mga honor students sa high school. Especially if you are not really belong to the rich family, then you have to try to your best to apply for different academic scholarships that the government offer. Something like that. For example, presidential scholar, something like that. Okay, then you have to apply. Something like that. Then you have to go examination, and then your grades will be submitted to the higher commission and higher of education, something like that. Okay, in capital Cebu. I remember that before. Okay, and then they will screen your grades, something like that. But it doesn't mean that you are a valedictorian or first honorable mention or whatever. It doesn't mean as long as your grades there's no below 80 something like that. Okay, but of course. At least you are on the top three, and then you have to prove that because there's an examination. You get the point? And then after you pass, then you'll be given a slots, a scholarship slots, and then you will apply na talaga siya, and then signed by the head of the Commission on Education, makakuha ng mga kurso, ganun-ganon. Okay? Especially if your family is not, is not rich, something like, or dili siya kaya talagang magpa-eskwela o, college, something like that. Get the point? Ganon. Okay? So, ganun siya guys. Okay. Ganis siya. Ganahan ko ano nga kuan. Charot! Okay. Kaloka. Number one, an object. Number three na guys though. I have two problems a while ago. Yesterday. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Ganon. The Beatles. Okay, an object is dropped. Okay. With no initial velocity. Wow. With no initial velocity. But actually, this, if you really read this sentence, so it looks like this is not really necessary because when you drop an object, it has an zero initial velocity. Then if you try to put the sentence in that way, not necessarily we will say an object is dropped with no initial velocity because if it is dropped, of course it starts with no initial velocity. So the sentence is, it looks like overrated. Or we could say very expounded. Because if you cut that here, it's understood also. Okay, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 words are jargon. Jargon meaning has redundancies of your sentence. Okay, if you're studying journalism, you can understand what I am talking about. So we should eliminate jargon in a sentence. Those have the same meaning repeated in a sentence. It should be eliminated to reduce your brevity. Okay, brevity meaning the number of words and the number of letters. Example, if you write an editorial article, there's a maximum of brevity required for that, and you should not go over to that because it will not become an editorial anymore. Okay, and then if you write also on sports news, something like that, then there's also an equivalent brevity that you will never exceed of 2,500 letters, something like that technically, because if you exceed, your sports article will not be entertained by the readers, by the audience, or it's not falling to the category of sports writing. Okay? Mga ganun siya. Diba? In journalism, feature editor, feature article, then you have to make it longer a little bit. Okay? Okay, more man siya on mga describing of a particular phenomena like that. Okay, that's feature editor. So there's no limitation of how you describe certain things. Yung ganon. Buti ka, you will take your narrative there. Narrative. Okay. Whatever comes on your brain cells, then you have to put that in your feature article. Feature. Feature article. Not future, feature. Okay? Ganon. So, initial velocity, ganon. Okay, above the surface. Okay. Do I have to tell this? Okay, for the very first time in my entire life, okay, I will say this to you. I've been working also, not really that 2 years or I've been also working as a content editor before in going to the Uptown Cebu. The company is Eno Data. Okay? So they hired me as a content editor. It's very far from being a chemical engineer. Imagine. Okay, something like that. We are given different types of articles, just like a book, something like that. And we need to summarize, we need to reduce the brevity, something like that. And we need to make it a very appealing article, something like that. Okay? So from morning to evening, always looking for the computer, and then you have the books beside you, like that, and you have to edit, you have to improve, like that. For example, if there are 5 pages, you will make it into 1 page, but be sure the main point will still be there. That is content editor. Okay? So, my parents are very, not really angry, they don't like, because it is very far from being a chemical engineer. And then, it came to a point that I need to respect and to follow the decision of my parents, and I need to work on in my specialization, something like that. Okay? So, okay, mahugtag, ano tawag doon? Uh, Serving different masters at the same time ended with nothing because there's no specialization. Lahat na lang kinakarir. Okay? Pwedeng mo kanta, o pwedeng mo write, pwedeng mo teach, pwedeng mo sayaw, or whatever, or pwedeng mo entertain, like that. Or pwede po become a host or MC in an event. So ano? So nakakaloka, di ba? So dapat mo master kag isa ka field. Something like that, okay? But, it's up to you guys how. I'm not limiting only to, this is only disclaimer, this is only my, perspective, okay? So, I cannot force you to be aligned with my perspective, okay? Ganon. So, above the surface, okay. Because we are living in a democratic planet Earth. Wow, democratic planet Earth. So we need to say, our actions and behaviors, it will conform to the norms of the society, the community, and meaning we are subject for liberation, meaning freedom, liberal, to be liberal, something like that, as long as we conform to the standards of the society and the community, something like that. Okay, so that's trying to say we should be relevant, okay, in the community. We should not be toxic to our community, something like that. At least we will be relevant and we will be useful, something like that. For example, if you have talent in singing, then you can do also a live streaming singing in which people will give you money through Gcash, something like that. So you can utilize your talent, right? And then such like this also, if you love joking, blah blah blah, so and so, your content also will be more on joking, and then you can gain money out from that. So this is trying to to become mature and to improve yourself for the talents that God gave to you. Okay, because I found out almost a lot, few people have the talents, but they don't convey or they don't utilize their talent to the public or to the viewer, something, because they're afraid. Okay, something like that. Okay, so just leave it that way because maybe they don't like also, right? Okay, above the surface of planet, like that. Okay, like that. Big alpha, like that. Okay, and false, like that. Sorry guys, ito katugod guys. So I have to vlog. Charot. Okay, Charis, and false 13.5 meters, ganon. Actually guys, I don't plan to vlog today because I plan to wash my clothes, but actually there's no water supply in the washing area. Then I come back to my room and do ironing my clothes, and after that, it's boring in my room, I'm alone. So I need to do something. Okay, 13.5 meters in 3 seconds, like that. Okay. And then the radius, okay. Okay, the radius of planet, what's it? Planet. Okay, because guys, I'm also trying to say this because I don't want only to enjoy my eyes. Sometimes I need to enjoy my brain cells. So what are the things to enjoy your brain cells? Is to read, is to research, is to explain, is to solve math problems, is to discuss, is to mentor, is to train, is to write an article, to do the report. Because if you are plainly watching movies, you are not sharpening your brain. You are sharpening your eyes and listening only the lesson and the moral lesson of the movie. Okay? There's a difference between using only the eyes and your brain cells. Okay? Ganon. So, but sad to say, nobody wants to sharpen the brain cells because, that is a risk-taking movement or action because nobody wants to have so many tasks, right? And then it will also cause headache, something like, or stress to the mind. Okay, especially if you don't love. Okay? Then I cannot do anything because I love this. Okay? Oh, the radius of the planet, ganon. Okay, the radius of the planet, big alpha. What's this? Okay, is 5.82 raised to the power 6 meters. Ganon. Okay. What is the acceleration? Di ba nakakaloka? What is the acceleration? I will tell you why nakakaloka. What is the acceleration, okay, of the falling object? Oh my gosh. Okay, of the falling object. Wow. Guys, it is a combination of the third law of Isaac Newton, which is the law of interaction, and then linked with the second law of Isaac Newton, which is the law of acceleration. See, falling object, meaning the law of free falling body, or the law of interaction. Okay, in every action, there must always be equal and opposite reaction. That is the statement law of the third law of Isaac Newton in physics. Okay? So, if you're in high school today, memorize that, put that in your brain cells because it will come again in the college. Okay? Falling object, ganon. Number 2, what is the mass of the planet? Charot. What is the mass of planet? Wow, big alpha. Guys, this is hypothetical. What do you mean hypothetical? Meaning, this is not subject to reality. The purpose only is to understand how to compute, how to calculate, how to solve, but this is really non-existent in our planet Earth, in your surrounding, your environment. Okay, something like that. Because we are just designating a planet called Big Alpha. But we don't have a planet called Big Alpha. We have only the 9 planets, as I told you yesterday. Right? Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Pluto, Mercury, Uranus, something like that. Okay? But this one is a planet. It's a planet Big Alpha. So there's no Big Alpha planet in the universe. Meaning to say, this is only a designation. We designate only. So this is hypothetical. Okay? Get the point. Ganon. So how can we solve this? Okay. So have your blank sheet of paper and solve simultaneously with me. Okay? You get the point? Mga ganon. Or in unison. Wow. Hindi ka jugla in terms, ha? Okay? So, ganon. Kung sinaanad naman ko guys ko sa journalism. Okay? Okay, shout out pala sa mga journalism students, ha? Okay? Join good mo ana because it will sharpen your English language, grammar, something like that. Or it can enhance also your spelling, something like that. Spelling of different letters. Okay, so that you don't need anymore the spelling tool of your laptop or desktop anymore. Okay? So it will help a lot. Okay? I remember pala, shout out pala sa akong sister because my sister won the spelling contest in Cebu before. In her elementary level, she became the champion of the spelling contest. Okay? Like that. And she is the valedictorian in the elementary, and then she's also an honor student in high school. And in college, because she is graduated in the Cebu Normal University, he almost topped the board examination with a score of 84%. Okay. Shoutout pala manang an her name is Ana Nepomuceno Bakal. So she is now a school head or principal to a public school. Okay, in Tangki, City of Naga. Sakto ba ito mananganan? Tangki, City of Naga. Okay. Ganon. So, she is a school head. Diba? Ganon siya. And also my other sister is also a public school teacher in our barangay. So, we are a bunch of mentors and teachers. Okay, only me and my brother is not a teacher in the family. My nieces are also public school teacher. And then my nephew and my niece, they always told me, you should be uncle, you should be a teacher, something like that. Okay, shout out pala because hopefully she will be teaching also in the United States of America. Okay, she's just waiting for the final, in the embassy, in the interview. Okay, and she said to me, cool. Okay, and I told her, maybe someday, not now, because I don't know what the Lord God will be in my journey. Okay, though I love reading because as I told you before, right? When I graduated in the CIT University, I tried to apply teacher talaga siya. Okay, when I graduated. Okay. Right after passing the licensure chemical engineer examination, I applied for being a teacher in CIT University. And something like that, this is sad. Sir, okay na, but we have to give only a certain limit of the units because you are on the experimental stage. Something like that. And then you don't have yet the masteral degree. And then later, then your units will be increased, and then you will also study units of the masteral. Because nowadays, you cannot really teach in a certain university if you don't have the master's degree or master's units. Okay, minimum. Unless you are a top-notcher, but I'm not a top-notcher. Okay? Something like that. He will give me, I think that was 9 units only for first time. And then I reported to my parents. Again, every time I will do something, I will report to my parents because I'm the youngest in the family. I told, I already blah blah blah, so I want to teach. Like I said, no, you don't have to teach. You still have to work in your specialization as a chemical engineer, something like that. And I follow them. I'm very loyal to my parents. Okay? So, ganon. So, an object is dropped with no mga ganon siya, ganon guys. No, ako yung pagtukan guys. Exclusively na siya akong vlogging that I could really confess my, this is a story of my life. Charot. Okay. Nakaka-story of my life. May ganon. Hindi na tayo mag-isot ka ma-jowa ha. Okay, pilayin kayo kami ng charot lang. Okay. So, we have, what is the acceleration? So, acceleration is equal to the velocity over the time, right? And you can compute also acceleration in terms of the second law of Isaac Newton. Force is equal to the mass times acceleration. Ganon. What else? Oh, it's gonna be velocity. Mag-convert pa mabuta kung acceleration, guys, no? Okay. Ano to? Acceleration is equal to 4 pi squared, ganon, times r over t. Ginuhuli ako na ko, guys, no? This is the acceleration in terms of the centripetal curvature, kanang circle, muna siya, right? Having the circumference is equal to 2 pi r, and then we have also the velocity in terms of 2 pi r over t, right? Something like that. Yeah, t is in seconds, right? So this is radian per seconds. Okay, radians per second. So this is basically the angular velocity. Okay, ganon. So, ari ta mo focus sa acceleration. Ay, may mga lisod-lisod. Okay? Ari lang ta diri sa duha. Ganon. Okay? So, pili ta ni kayo na. So, ano na to? Ani? Charot. Charot lang. Okay. And I have also another acceleration, guys, na pang sa kinematic. Okay. Di ba, guys, this is the topic of gravitational force and then we'll link to the kinematic equation. So, di ba? Alams na. Okay. So, distance is equals to, ganun siya kakuan. Okay. Dahil sa guys, ako mga marker is kung nauubos na yung mga char. Okay? Ana, gayon. Diba? An object is dropped, so klaro kayo siyang mga kinematic tubas. Okay, ano rin? Distance is equals to initial velocity times time plus 1/2 times the acceleration due to gravity times t squared. Ganon. See, what is the acceleration of the falling object? So meaning this is the acceleration due to gravity in which we need to find out. This is not the acceleration gravity that is constant. Or else it will not be asked if it is a constant. So common sense, right? Okay, so what is the acceleration of the falling object? Meaning the g, but not the gravity thing. Okay, so now, ano yun? Distance, do you have the distance here? Okay, an object is dropped with no initial velocity above the surface of planet Big Alpha and falls 13.5 meters. So this is the distance, 13.5 meters. But this distance is the vertical distance or the height. So you should not be literal also, guys, ha? Okay? Abigay, distance pag iputang sa formula, you will never equate that to a height. So this is also, sometimes may weakness also, but not all the time. Okay? Okay, nakakuha naman ako, nakamatikod. Wow. Okay? So, to those people na murag literal na kayo yung pagsabot, so the distance would not mean only the horizontal. That could also be a height or a vertical, especially in kinematic equation, such like this. Then, distance or height, we didn't mean height. Height equals initial velocity, 0. See? No initial velocity. So, 0 times is 0. 1/2 times g times t squared. Our height is 13.5, mga langga kong hitad. And then g, nothing because we need to find out. And we have times 3 seconds. So 3 raised to the power 2. Then automatically by math, let's do the basic math, algebra, then we can get the acceleration due to gravity. Ganon. Or the acceleration ng siya of the falling object. Ganon. Kasi ito, gravitational field strength is also equal to the acceleration due to gravity. Ganon. Guys, ha? Saan na ito pagkupit mga palangkakungitan? You want crisscross for this? Okay, here we will become a 9, okay, 9 over 2 g is equals to 13.5. You can do two things here. Either you divide the 9 over 2 first, or either you can do the crisscross multiplication in algebra like this. Okay, so ganun kayo crisscross, guys, sorry. So, I will say 2g times 13.5 is equals to 9. Therefore, g is equals to 9 ganon over 2 times 13.5. We have now the acceleration. Okay, ganon. Calculator, please naman palang akong hitad. Maklaro ninyo, guys. Maklaro dyan nyo. Ganon. Kalapa. Okay. Anak na yun. So, 2 times 13.5 is equals to 27. 9 divided by 27. 0.33. But take note again. Anong 0.33 naman so review your work. Rework. Okay. So 13.5. 1/2 g t squared. Ganon. So 3 raised to the power 2 is 9. Okay, 9. So 9 times 1/2. Diba? Okay, 9 times 1/2 is 0.5 times 9. 4.5. Diba? So, ano din? 14.5 divided by 13.5. So, 13 divided by 4.5 equals to 3. Okay, our acceleration is equal to 3. Guys, mag-pendas kita guys ha. Pendas in algebra. Okay? There are two versions I used, and then the other one is wrong because I did not use the PEMDAS. Use the PEMDAS meaning you do first the algebraic linear equation with a parenthesis, second with exponent, Third, you need to do the operation, multiplication operation. Third or fourth, you have the division. Fifth, you have the addition. And the last will be the subtraction. This is PEMDAS rule in algebra, math. Okay? So to those who love math or who take up BS math, then it's the avenue for you, right? Okay. So we have 3 meter per ano siya, second square. Okay, acceleration lang siya. Okay. And then ikadua, what is the mass of the big alpha? Ganon. Mass na yun. So, dirita sa second law of Isaac Newton. Ano din? Force is equals to mass times acceleration. We have the acceleration already. We computed a while ago. Substitute it here. And then we don't have the mass. That is the quantity we are trying to solve. Like that. And we have no also force. So, by the theory, you need also 2 equations because you are having 2 quantities. You have also have to have 2 equations to follow the degrees of, what is called that? Degrees of freedom. Okay? That is called technically as a degrees of freedom, meaning the number of unknowns must be equal to the number of equations and formulas to be used so that you can really compute the answer. That is degrees of freedom, DOF. And we have also FBD, FBD meaning free body diagram. So you have now acronyms to remember. So small things like this, it would also help. Okay? Get the point. So our F here is nothing. Because it's not mentioned in our problem. See, it doesn't mention the force, right? Okay, but it's mentioned that the radius, 5.82 times 10 to the 6 meters. And then how can we pasok sa banga with this radius here in the force? So we will use the original equation na katong gravitational like siya. Ano din? Gravitational force constant G, ano din? Mass 1 times mass 2 over r squared is equals to mass times acceleration, which is 3. Ganon. So, Sotero, kung say mass 1, then go back to the question. Mass 1, this is about big alpha planet. Okay. Take note, by common sense, there is no other object that is being mentioned in the problem. And you have here M1 and M2. What you will do in this situation? You will try to force, but you have also done M2, or you have to assume another M2. So it's not like that. So here, your M1 and M2 will just be equal to M. Because they are all M. Because your problem only states one object. So input this in your brain cells also again. If there is only one object mentioned, and the formula having 2 masses, you will treat that also as another M. Therefore, M times M is equals M raised to the power 2. Algebra, right? Again, polynomial. Okay? Something like that. So we'll say G M raised to the power 2 over R squared is equals to M. What do you notice? So we need to simplify as a rule of math. So simplification will be there always when you find the formula or derived formula. So, kung saan man yung mga palangga kong hitan. Okay, you need to cancel 1M in the right and still 1 here. So it will become G times M over radius to the power 2 is equals to 3. So again, mathematics, algebra, cross multiplication. Actually, guys, there are 2 rules. You either divide both quantities to a certain thing in this quantity so that we can cancel. Secondly, we need also to times another quantity so that it will be cancelled and we can get what is being asked. And third, the crisscross multiplication. I love crisscross multiplication, guys. I am comfortable. Okay, like this. It will become G times the mass. Okay, cancel naman yung mga anak mo dyan na siya, guys, no. Is equals to R squared times 3. This is our final equation. And then we have the G, of course, that is a gravitational force constant. So what is the another terms of gravitational constant? Gravitational force constant is also called universal gravitation constant. And then that is also called as the Newton's law constant. Okay? So that in a multiple choice question in the future, you can distinguish this kind of constant because there are three terms. Maglibog mo kung di mo kasabot if you don't know the another names. Okay? So you should be smart enough to detect the another terms. Okay? Like that. So we have the G is equals to 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11. Memorize the constant also ha. Negative 11 tayo. And then negative 11. Okay, ganon, chuba-chucho. Okay, Newton meter squared, kilogram squared. Ganon. Then R, we have the radius. Remember, we have 5.82 times 10 to the 6 raised to the power 2 times 3. Ganon. So, solve for the mass. Again, algebra. Basic algebra and equation, guys. We don't have to use calculus, to solve the problems. Okay. So 5.82 exponential. The only passkey here is the exponential. Okay? Times gano'n chuba-chucho is equals to this is nakakaloka. This is 17,460,000. Haba. 17 million. Okay, 460,000, or if we put this in an exponential form, it will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will become 1.74 times 10 to the raised to the power 7. Ganon. Okay, so divided by 6.67, kakaloka, diba? Times 10 to the negative 11. This is our mass. Okay? Kailangan siya mga palang kakumitan. Okay? So it's gonna be 17,460. Okay. Divided by 6.67 exponent negative 11 is equals to 2.62 times 10 to the 17 kilogram is our mass. Here. So Sotero, why is very huge? Because this is planet Big Alpha in the universe. Okay? So the description would simply tell the story of your answer. See? Big Alpha. Planet Big Alpha. That's why 2.62 times 10 to the 17 kilograms. So very huge. Okay? Ganon. Diba? Ganon lang siya. Nakuha na tanan. Yes? Okay. So, muna siyang atong question number 3. Diba? So, the technique here is a combination of kinematics to the gravitational force law, and also for the law of acceleration, and also the law of gravity. Upat ka law ang drambol rin nga problem. First, the first law to be used will be the kinematics equation. And then secondly, we have the gravitational force law. Secondly, we have the law of acceleration. And the fourth, we have the law of interaction. The third law of, Isaac Newton. Grabe, in one problem we use 4 scientific laws to solve this problem. Grabe, di ba? Okay, ganon. So, ganon. Walang tapon. Okay? And now let's go to another question. Babay sa ako, then we'll proceed to another vlog. Thank you so much for watching this live streaming, and I hope you like it. And you can share to your sons and daughters in their assignments, and to those students who are watching me right now. You can also utilize this as your reference if you are encountering the same topics in your present study today, especially physics in the topic of gravitational force, something like that. And then to anybody also who are trying to learn also together with me, you can also chat in my FB Messenger, something like that. So in your assignments or whatever, okay? So, shout out lang sa mga ni-chat na nako, okay? So far, wala may kuan. Ako sa natubag, okay nagapon sila, okay? So, if you want for more, then chat with me FB Messenger, something like that. So that it can also sharpen my brain cells. Okay? That was 25 years ago, right? Okay, at least it can, it can activate and energize my brain cells. Akong neurons mo activate. Wow, neurons with electrical impulses. Nakakaloka. Okay, ganon. So, electrical impulses talaga, yes. Okay, ganon. Bye-bye everybody. God bless everybody. See you later. Okay? And then you can also click the notification bell for some US updates sa Messenger. Okay, thank you so much guys. Akong gili akong revenue si tubo siya 0.5. $0.5. Okay, thank you so much. At least $1 lang every day, right? Oh. $1 ko anak ka na mga 55 pesos. Okay, sa mo hatag din mo 55 pesos sa adlaw, di ba? Nothing. So, at least basta ba trending? Charot. Did you trending because nobody wants academic or technical information. They prefer to laugh, okay, by using their eyes alone. Sorry. Okay. Diba? Normal na sa katilingban. Okay. Diba guys? Gina mo ko sa akong magawa nga. Uy, boring kay imong kuan videos. Okay naman, ibig sabihin mo tanaw basta muli mo kadiyot, okay ra. Char.